For a second, I thought he might hit me. He'd become unglued. I produce my own records. He stormed out, still yelling.
You were scared, weren't you?
No, don't stop till you get enough.
You haven't had enough.
No way. No way.
Nick, and I'm back with another video, as you can see. And before we get started, if this is your first time on my channel, please make sure you hit that subscribe button and don't forget to click that bell so you'll be notified when I drop new videos. You know what I'm saying? Make sure y'all click that bell, you know what I'm saying, so y'all can be notified. And when I do drop some, y'all can be the first. Y'all can be the first couple of people to get that notification. So just stay tuned. But anyway, man, like, today we are about to watch another video from The Detail. This is Prince on His Rivalry with Micheal Jackson, in his own words. You know what I'm saying? Two of the biggest artists in the 80s had beef with each other. That's interesting. That's real interesting, man. Let's just get into this video because I'm very curious of what Prince has to say.
Was the guy that you looked at and said, "Oh, I gotta get back in the studio"? Did you hear so-and-so? Let's get in the studio right now. Who did that for you?
Contrary to what a lot of people might believe, it was never somebody who was my contemporary. It was always old
Gotta be a
records.
contemporary. Any rivalry between you and Mr. Jackson?
Oh, not to me, no.
That's okay.
Prince encounters with the Jacksons.
What happened is, right after I graduated from college, I was able to get my job at Right On Magazine. I started out as an assistant, though, but it was a great job. It was a great opportunity, and I became the editor about 6 months later. Right On Magazine started out in the early 70s with the advent of the Jackson 5. Prince used to call the job all the time. He would call like 2 and 3 times a day. We would just ignore his calls. We didn't know who he was, never heard of him. So then what happened was, out of desperation, he called and said, "Can you come to SIR recording studios and I will play you some instruments and you will see that I have talent. And after that, I will have to be in the magazine." Went down there, he started playing all these different instruments, drums, all these instruments. I was like amazed. I said, "You know what? You are the most talented person I've ever met as a musician." So I agreed to put him in the magazine. So I contacted the record company. They were like laughing because I found out he was on Warner Brothers, and they said, "Look, this guy we can get rid of more posters of him than we can sell records," because he was so new. His music was different, so no one really understood what it was that he was trying to do. So you know, he had a lot of trouble, but after getting in the magazine, it became a lot easier because he was really gorgeous looking, and even Micheal Jackson would say, "Who is he?"
I had read somewhere that in the 80s you dated Prince. Is that true?
Prince did like me. Yes, he did. We've gone roller skating, but not just with me, but I think Kathy Hilton was there, my brother Michael was there, my sister was there, so it was like a group.
But Prince would call up and be like, he was like, "Yeah, like, Latoya." He has a deep voice, so yeah, Latoya.
We all went together and Prince was there, we met there. That was my first time meeting him, but we all met up together. I think it was like that.
I'm like, "Who is this?" "Yeah, Latoya." "Okay, click."
The infamous James Brown concert, August of 90. Oh, I seen this. Oh, I seen this. They gonna get into this?
First, James Brown brought up Michael, sang for about 30 seconds, and everything went berserk.
So Michael went up there and he sang for about 15 seconds, and then just moonwalk and stuff, picked up the tempo.
And you see Michael whispering in James's ear.
He whispered in James Brown's ear, bring Prince down.
James finally says, "The Prince is here, bring up the Prince," or something, you know. I don't think he knew who he was yet. He didn't know what he looked like. He didn't know anything about Prince. James has known Michael since he's 5 years old. He's like a stepson, like a godson. Michael used to come to his shows and sit in the wings and study him.
James Brown played a big influence on my style. When I was about 10 years old, my stepdad put me on the stage with him, and I danced a little bit until the bodyguard took me off.
Mind you, this is a period of time where Prince is starting to challenge Michael. They were already saying, is Prince the new Michael Jackson? The press was building up a rivalry. It was the Beatles and the Rolling Stones. You couldn't invent something better. It was just perfect. And also, give him a big round of applause because he just insisted that I introduce Prince. Here, Prince.
So he did call him out.
We had no idea that he was going to be called up. He was just sitting there like, oh, God. They thought Prince was weird before he even got on the stage, but the name alone, because there were so many negative things about him, so they weren't necessarily that supportive. They were old and in like polyester suits, so it was just the wrong crowd. It was the wrong audience. You know, everybody was more pro-Michael.
Chris jumped on the back of his bodyguard, took the gloves, threw him off, and then threw him back at it, and came up there and stopped the challenge Michael. But Michael had 25 years of experience. Chris had 5 years. He always had this thing that followed him.
And of course, James Brown loved that kind of stuff because he wasn't ready to pass the baton to Michael, Prince, nobody. So he was kind of like, let me see.
He was really pissed off because Michael set him up. So Prince gets up there and he doesn't know what the hell to do. And he hated the fact that he was up there. Michael Jackson has just freaking worked the stage. You don't follow Michael Jackson.
No,
and the thing that Prince can do that Michael can't do is play a guitar. But the song is just a riff. It's just a vamp. All he could do was play rhythm. In Purple Rain, Prince was at a loss. He really didn't know what to do.
Got on stage and knocked over that light pole and really messed up badly and embarrassed himself. Prince used to watch that videotape. Prince knew exactly what Michael was up to. I said, don't you guys just want to be viewed as friends? Because I'd seen them together. I said, don't you want people to know you're friends? I'll never forget the look Prince gave me. And he just kind of turned around and he just said, don't be naive. Not asking me because he wants me to be his friend. This is competition.
Prince was one of the label's rising stars. His album 1999 was selling very well for us. It was a big star. His goal was to surpass Michael's success, as he told the executive team that in a number of meetings I attended. One day in 1983, he showed up. He told me he wanted to talk about something, looking out of sorts. He said, I have to find a way to knock Michael out of the #1 spot. It was driving him crazy that Thriller was breaking all sorts of sales records. You really want to top Michael? He nodded. Yes. Get Quincy Jones to produce your next album. His eyes got wide. He sprang out of his seat. For a second, I thought he might hit me. He'd become unglued. I produce my own records. He stormed out, still yelling.
You were scared, weren't you?
The best way I can describe the vibe between Prince and Michael was this phenomenon where one of the marquee artists came out.
Whoever did that
editing
was,
was going to hit the #1 spot. But there's someone blocking you. There's someone sitting at #1 and you just can't dislodge them.
I respect a person's success, but I don't like a lot of popular music.
The big male rivalries were Michael Jackson and Prince.
It was a perfect time for Prince to say, he was going to get bigger than that.
Extremely competitive, extremely driven. Guys that want to be #1, period. They can't both be #1.
A kind of friendly competition.
I can go there. You know, I'm a fighter. I'm very competitive.
Working Billboard at the time, and Billboard does this huge Michael Jackson special. He sold all these records, but the last page was a giant ad for Purple Rain. It says, "The Purple Rain will begin." Thriller was also the setup for Purple Rain. You know, you had Michael making that mini movie. Right. Prince was very competitive. I mean, he really took it to everybody. Oh, Thriller? Oh, I'm doing a movie.
Purple Rain became a runaway success. He produced it himself.
And I came with the Thriller, and every time I was trying to always outdo myself, and Billie Jean, they said we won't play it. And when they played it, it set the all-time record, knocking our door down because it brought in. Then Prince came. It opened the door for Prince and all the other black artists.
You know, Michael Jackson is always put on a pedestal, but around the Purple Rain time, Prince and Michael Jackson were kind of neck and neck. You know, Michael had Thriller. Yeah. Prince had Purple Rain. And he had the movie on top of that. So he's a movie star and Purple Rain. The sales were up there with Thriller. And I guess the two of them had a rivalry.
They did. I remember Prince told me that he went and met with Michael at some point. And I guess they talked about some stuff.
Sounded like Vlad.
You know, I always thought that was an interesting comparison. I think that they were on the same level as artists, but I think Michael was straight entertainer. Yes. Well, Prince did it all. You know, Prince was the entertainer, the writer, the producer, everything.
The Purple Rain Tour, nothing like that had ever done before in black music. The only other thing that rivaled it, of course, was Michael Jackson, who was blowing up at the same time, setting up something that young America was looking for.
So we went to see the Jacksons on the Victory Tour in Dallas, Texas. Prince wanted to go to the show. We said, whatever we do, we couldn't have Chick around Prince. So Chick had gotten so famous that if you seen Chick, you know where Prince was. So we had Chick incognito as well. So we put him in a hoodie. He was very devious at times. Do we want to go out there and cause a scene, or are you just trying to go enjoy the show? Because if you want to cause a scene, we can do that. I don't know how Michael and them are going to appreciate that. And he's like, no, we don't. That would be disrespectful. We don't want anyone to know. We was there for about an hour when he decided that he wanted to go. So he's got a hoodie on, man, and he looks down at me, gives me this devious look. I'm like, oh, come on, man, let's don't do this. But he pulls the hood off. He gets down on the field. This girl looked up. It's Prince! And we told him, whatever you do, don't worry. This dude takes off like he's Carl Lewis. That crowd, it went crazy. People were mobbing us, man. Chick lit his pants. The fans, they lost their mind. We were so mad at that cat. Michael knew they weren't happy. We were disruptive to their show.
Prince refused to take part in the We Are the World.
So why wasn't he in We Are the World? What's the real story there? What happened?
And believe me, it's one of my heartbreaks of the whole thing. Well, Prince, we need you down here. He says, can I have a separate room to record it? Because you know Prince.
Yeah.
And I
But
said,
that's not how it was.
I can't give you a separate room. And then I made the worst mistake. I said, listen, I'll put you right next to Michael.
Oh. And he didn't want to be next to Michael?
Done.
Michael was famously private and Diana Ross, diva-ish. If they can do it, why can't he do it? Him and Lionel Richie was, who does he think he is?
We were trying to round people up. It was chaotic. There were two people absent, Prince and Madonna. So, no, I said, Prince,
legends.
Are you there? He said, I'll do a guitar solo. We had everyone to stand next to each other. There's Paul Simon. There's Bob Dylan.
Yeah, so check your ego at the door, right?
Nobody else is going to be there. Not to mention the fact that it's a cause he should be associated with. And Prince said no. Quincy was pissed. Quincy took it personally.
And so I said, all right, I'll call you later.
And you never called
that
back?
That was the end of it.
Really?
Yeah, it was happening right there.
And then LaToya got his spot, right?
Michael Jackson bypassed the American Music Awards to come in by himself and record one final guide vocal.
Everybody at the awards was talking about it. See, the studio, this was huge. Okay, understand something. You can't go out clubbing. This recording session is bigger than the award show. This is the biggest thing in the year.
It's just disappointment, from one person to another, that he wasn't there when he was asked to be, to why, you feel what a jerk.
You've been criticized for not showing up at the We Are the World recording session last January. Why weren't you there?
We had talked to the people that were doing the USA for Africa, and they said it was cool that I gave up a song for the album. I'm strongest in a situation where I'm surrounded by people I know. It's better that I did it that way, the music, than going down and participating there. I probably would have just clammed up with so many great people in the room. I'm an admirer of all people who participated in that particular outing, and I don't want there to be any hard feelings.
American Music Awards 1995, We Are the World performance. So,
Purple Rain and that whole situation, Thriller, that whole situation, I mean, that was a time period. And it's our journey, you know. It's not for somebody who doesn't play music to step up and say, you know, that's not as good as.
No matter what you do, you're competing against your previous product and everybody expecting more. You're really trying to top yourself all the time.
Prince, he was putting music out all the time, just so fast. I said, you can't put out your music as it comes to you if you want to compete with Michael. Everything has to be a giant marketing plan, planned 2 years in advance. He looked at me like I was nuts, you know.
So Quincy had convinced Michael, if you and Prince are ever going to work together, this is the moment. This bad song is the moment for y'all to come together. So Quincy invites Prince and Michael over to the house, to Quincy's house for dinner one night. The phone rings about 5 minutes before they're supposed to meet and says, "Hi, Q. Is Prince there yet?" And Quincy said, "No, Prince isn't here yet." He said, "Okay." He hangs up. 5 minutes later, the phone rings. It's Prince. "Hey, Q. Is Michael there yet?" "No, he's not here yet." "Okay, click." This goes on, I kid you not, for like 20 minutes. Prince and Michael are calling back and forth. Nobody wants to be the first one. Quincy said, "Michael, come on, man. Stop this," because he knows Michael. They've been together. He doesn't really know Prince, but he knows Michael. But just come on, man. So Michael shows up. 2 seconds later, the doorbell rings. Prince walks in. They sit down and talk, about to have dinner. And Prince says, "I have a question I want to ask about the lyrics." And Quincy said, "Sure." He said, whose line is this right here?"
And I think this is.
Quincy said, "Which line are you talking about?" He said, "This
statement to say."
He couldn't believe that Michael had the nerve to call it "I'm bad." He was like, there's nothing badass about him. And he could not let Michael get away with it. He said not only was he not going to sing it with him, he went in the studio and re-recorded what he thought it should be and sent it back to Michael. Like, no. And by the way, this is what it should be. And, I mean, that was the end of that. But that's how Prince was.
Michael was playing in Minneapolis, Minnesota. Michael invited Prince to come to the show. Prince invited me and Sheila E. We get to the concert. We go through the back. We go backstage before Michael went on stage. We get back there. Michael Jackson's crew pulls out a big news camera. And Prince goes, I told you. No filming. We're all wearing these cashmere coats. Prince had on his and said Prince. I had on mine and said woman. Sheila had on hers and said Sheila. Michael said, "I really like those coats. Where did you get them from?" And Prince said, "Do you want me to make you one?" And Michael said, "Yes." All of our coats said 1988 on the back. And Prince said, "What year do you want?" "The year the wall came out." "Off the wall." Now, what year was that? Prince said, "Yeah, I'll get you one with that year on the back." Because that was the last time he had a hit. He literally said that to Michael. You know those mirror hearts? We watched Michael. Prince said, "Watch this." Prince purposely, I kid you not, he took the mirror heart and made sure the light flashed Michael in the eyes, reflected in Michael Jackson's face. Yes, he did. I'm not kidding you. He actually did.
Prince brought over some sort of voodoo box. Michael was convinced that Prince was trying to cast a spell on him.
But then at the end of the night, Michael came to Paisley Park, and then him and Prince ended up going to his house, and they had a really good chat. And Prince told us we had to leave because him and Michael were going to, spend some private time together at Prince's house. People thought they were really enemies, but they were really good friends. They really were.
Hypothetically, you would win in a fist fight. You or Michael Jackson.
Michael's not a fighter, he's a lover.
Can I just say something? I've never really spoke publicly about Michael. We should all just kind of like chill because it's, you know, you may know something none of us really know.
You were made out to be this weird cat, and he was like Mr. Disney, and you're married. He's just you're like a married man.
Well, you know,
play it.
You know, there again, you know, hopefully the press will get to the point where it will just all just, it'll be a law where you have to tell the truth. It won't be about speculation.
Prince in Las Vegas, 2007.
Michael Jackson and Prince did not get along, which I did not know that. But you took Michael to see Prince, or you took Prince to see Michael? Which was it?
So one time, Black Eyed Peas had a show in Vegas, and we got to Vegas, and I get a phone call from Michael, and he says, "It's Michael, and I heard you guys are performing tonight." I was like, "Yeah, we go on at 9 p.m. He said, "Oh, Rats, I gotta put the kids to sleep. I don't know if I can make that show." I was like, "Oh, well, you know, I'm playing with Prince later on. Be jamming with him like around 12. Make a long story short, Prince is performing, walks off the stage, through the crowd with the bass, people screaming and pulling and tugging on him, playing the bass through the crowd, makes his way over to where me, Chris Tucker, and Michael Jackson was sitting, and rips the bass in half. Just like ripping the most killerest solo in the world. Make a longer story shorter, Michael Jackson leaves and goes home and says, "Meet me in the house for breakfast." So I go to his house for breakfast, knock on the door. First words he says, "Well, it's Prince playing the bass in my face." No, Prince, he's just being nice, you know. No, Prince, he's always been a meanie.
I was with the king going to see the Prince. That was some crazy shit. I'm serious, I'm with Michael, we sitting there, you know, and everything was cool, but Prince didn't say, you know, that Michael was there. So I was like, was concerned, said, "Michael, he didn't even say you here." You know, I was trying to start something. Michael, Chris, stop it, Chris. You probably just don't want to bring any attention on me. That's all. I said, well, you should say something. Chris, stop it. Chris got a little attitude. I think he saw Michael, and he was like, he didn't say nothing. He just was looking like. He was like, "What the hell are you doing here?" He looked like, "What the hell are you doing here?" All of a sudden, Prince came over to Michael like that. He bent down. "What are you doing here?" Trying to steal my moves, huh? I was like, "Oh, there's some shit going on. Maybe something happened in the 80s I don't know about."
Here's about Michael's sudden passing in 2000.
Prince was in rehearsal for headlining the Montreux Jazz Festival in Switzerland. When the news comes that Michael has died, he immediately canceled rehearsal, sent all of his band members home, and locked himself in his bedroom for days and wouldn't come out. When he finally emerges, they do a couple more rehearsals. He calls me to say, you know, "What you doing this summer?" We talk. I'm headlining in Montreux. "You want to come?" I said, "Sure." I pack up my bags. I go to Montreux. I go to Switzerland with Prince. He kills the show in Montreux. And about 1:30 in the morning, we stop by a little after party. We stay there for about a half hour or so. About 2 o'clock in the morning, we're back to his hotel. He's staying in the presidential suite. And of course, where else would Prince stay? Presidential suite, top floor of this hotel with sway that has French doors, I'll never forget it, that open out to the rooftop of the hotel. We walk out there about 2-something in the morning. And we sat on the rooftop of that hotel looking at the Swiss Alps until the sun came up. And all Prince talked about for hours was Michael Jackson. Wow. And he sat and he talked and he talked. And in that moment, again, it was so surreal to hear him talking for hours about his respect for Michael's genius, for Michael's gift, for Michael's showmanship.
Wow. Wow. That was interesting. That was a good video, Detail. That was a good video, man, and this video was really interesting because I knew that Michael Jackson and Prince had some beef, but it wasn't to the point where like I'm gonna kill you, you know what I'm saying? But this was really interesting. I wish I was back I wish I was around in the 80s to actually see this little rivalry, you know what I'm saying, go on in like real time in the 80s, man, to actually just like be there. But I wasn't born in the 80s, so I would never know. But just hearing these stories, man, is really interesting. I love hearing stories about Michael, you know what I'm saying? Like stories I never heard before. Like I didn't know he dated LaToya Jackson, which just caught me off guard. Like God, like I did not know that, you know what I'm saying? But it's obvious that they had a mutual respect for each other, you know what I'm saying? And like they said at the end of the video, like Prince was on the top of the little hotel suite that they was at, looking at the sunrise, and he was just talking about Michael for hours, man. Like I thought that was pretty cool, you know what I'm saying? So they were definitely fans of each other, man. But this was a really good video, man. This was really good, man. I appreciate this, man. But yo, man, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, man. I got so many more videos coming, y'all. I got so many more videos coming. You know what I'm saying? And if you like this video, man, don't forget to hit that like button. You know what I'm saying? And don't forget to hit that bell so you'll be notified when I do make new videos. You know what I'm saying? Great video. You know what I'm saying? I hope everybody be safe. You know what I'm saying? Treat each other nice, bro. You know what I'm saying? Treat each other well, man. We got to stick together, bro. We got to. You know what I'm saying? And to my subscribers, man, I love y'all, bro. I love y'all, man. For real. That's from the bottom of my heart. I love y'all. You know what I'm saying? As you can see, I'm at 1,974 subscribers, bro. Like, hey, I still got a long way to go, and I'm willing to put that work in. You know what I'm saying? But I'm finna cut the video, man. See y'all in the next one, bruh. Peace.